So the camera is flipped here backwards in this first game. Stefan is on the left side and Philip is on the right side here. So this is not correct. Actually, I already feel like this is too fast. It's like a little bit jarring. I'm just going to go back down to 1x speed. That feels a little jarring to me. We're just going to go to normal. Wait, it doesn't feel like it's normal. Hold up. No, that's normal. Okay. I don't want to go slower. Yeah, so Philip is playing Giratina Arceus, and Stefan is just playing Lost Zone Giratina. So 2 Giratina decks. And they'll flip the camera eventually. I like the prize cams. The constant prize cams is pretty sick. I understand why they probably don't or can't do that. It would be cool to see that, to be honest, on the TPCI streams, just to have the prize cards constantly visible. Because I think that's just nice to be able to see and constantly have as a visual. They're a little bit small on the Limitless stream. I think they could like fill up this whole space. I don't actually know what this red thing is for on either side. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is for on either side. The little red bars. My camera actually might be in the way where it is, won't it? Hey, let me move my camera. We can do something like this. Where should I put my camera? Is my camera going to be in the way? It might not, actually, to be honest. Let's just play it and see if my camera ends up being in the way. That's for how many cards are in the Lost Zone? Oh, yeah, it probably will. No, it says who won game 1, who won game 2. And then the area, no, the area down here is where they put the Lost Zone counter. It feels like this could be just like fill up the whole area, though. Just like make it bigger. It's like a little bit small. You can obviously make out what the cards are, but... And it feels weird. They're definitely using like GoPros or something because it's like a fisheye. It's like a fisheye lens. Everything looks warped. So Stefan grabs Tina and Comfy. And actually a really good attack from Stefan here, turn 1, would be to pull off the KO with the Cramorant here, because KOing Halucha is actually huge, or KOing any one prize Pokemon, because then it makes it awkward for Philip to actually put Bidoof in play, which Philip does want to do. Philip does want to put Bidoof in play to set up B-Barrel. So, but even if they get to the B-Barrel, then Sableye can still knock out B-Barrel as like the last prize cards for Stefan. So Stefan can go like knock out Halucha, knock out 2 Tinas or Arceus Tina. And then knock out 2 Tinas or Arceus Tina, and then also knock out the B-Barrel to close it out. So Battle VIP pass to start from Stefan. Comfy plus Tina. No surprise. No Cram grab, which I guess is interesting, because I think what Cram would be... want to be a higher priority here. I feel like the Cram knockout is really, really big here. And even if Stefan like whiffed the Cram knockout on the Halucha, even if you escape rope punch the Tina, that wouldn't be terrible either, because then you can go like back-to-back Crams or Cram Sableye, KO the first Tina, because Philip is playing Tina Arceus, and Stefan should know this based off the Pass to the Peak plus the Halucha. So Stefan should know that it's Tina Arceus here and not like Lost Zone Tina based off those 2 cards. So there's the Colress. And I watched a little bit of this game at the beginning of this game last night. So Stefan goes with like a switch into a Comfy here, and then has Quick Ball and Capture Energy in play, and then puts the Capture on the Tina, which I don't really like, because I like the idea of keeping the Capture Energy around to be able to retreat a Comfy potentially into the Cramorant. So I don't love this Capture use here, because Stefan also has a Quick Ball in hand that they end up using eventually. But I think you could just start with using Comfy here, because it's possible you'd want to retreat one of your Comfys at some point to get into the Cramorant. So I don't love the Capture immediately to the Tina. I think you could have like waited and then like potentially use that to retreat Comfy. Ideally, you want the energy on a Tina, but you could also like wait to see if you want to put it somewhere else. Appreciate the 11 months there, lucky boy. So I think holding the Capture makes a little bit more sense. Wait, maybe we don't get the Quick Ball. No, but you could still open up with the Comfy use first from Stefan if you don't even get the Quick Ball yet. So it's Roxanne versus Tina V-Star. The Roxanne you don't really need, especially when you're in this kind of position as Stefan. You're going to get ahead first, so most likely you'll be the first person to get ahead based on the board states. Comfy again. Water and Gate. Goes with the Gate here. which makes sense. I mean, you can give up a couple energy with this deck. It's not that big of a deal. Lose the water energy, and now we're up to 4 from Stefan. And we do see the quick ball happen now from Stefan, but like because Stefan had the quick ball in the hand, like I said, I think Stefan could have opened up with using Comfy instead of attaching the capture to Tina. Like wait on the Tina capture, because you could have attached the capture here to the Comfy, gotten Cramorant, and then gone retreat to Cram. You know, attack with Cram. But I mean, like you said, you ideally want the energy on the Tina, but like it becomes an option. Now it's just not an option at this point. Like I feel like the thinning of the deck of the second Comfy initially, the way Stefan did it, just like didn't matter too much to do initially. Like you could have just waited and then like decided as your turn developed a little bit more. Because if you get the Comfy off of a Comfy, that's still not bad, to be honest, because then it opens up the option of the capture being your retreat option for the turn, which you haven't done yet as Stefan. And then like you get to save the quick ball. You get to save the quick ball to get your next Giratina, which would be nice as well, because you do want to establish a second Giratina at some point. So against the Cram KO, which I said is still a huge KO. This is a big KO because this really limits Philip's options of wanting to set up B-Barrel at this point. Like you don't really want to set up B-Barrel anymore past this point, because then it becomes super easy for Stefan to prize trade and just go like knockout 2 prize or knockout 2 prize or Sableye KO the B-Barrel or the B-Doof. Even like we see like the Zigzagoon and the Pumpkaboo in the hand for Philip here. I mean, you're not going to play either of those in this situation, but you wouldn't be able to utilize them later on if you wanted to either, or it'd be like risky to utilize them later on. So it's like first KO from Stefan is a pretty big deal. And then also like you just know if Stefan, like the biggest thing would be like if Stefan picked up on the read of what Philip is playing. Like I said, the Path to the Peak plus the Hawlucha should tell Stefan that Philip is playing Arc Tina, so you can play based off that, kind of knowing there's no possibility of like an explosive turn next turn from Philip at all. And the best thing Philip could do next turn would be Trinity Charge, which is also unlikely to happen because Philip probably plays 2 switches, maybe 2 or 3 switch cards, and 4 DTE. So Philip would have to get the Arceus, the DTE, and one of the couple switch cards, which is like unlikely. So Stefan can get like 2 turns ahead theoretically, like already be planning to get 2 turns ahead here, or that's what Stefan should be planning to do. But you can't. That's only if Stefan picked up on the fact that Hawlucha plus Path should equal Arc Tina, not Lost Zone Tina, which is an important thing to try and pick up on whenever you can. You always want to try and get as much information. Oh, they put the deck names there. I wonder if they're gonna put the. I think I saw the round timer is down here at the bottom, which is a little bit off to me. I feel like they should put that up here, like move the gameplay down a little bit and then put the round timer up here. All the info should be at the top, I feel like. What round it is plus the round timer. You can still keep the follow us stuff down there, but you can put that up there as well. Like you move this whole bar at the bottom up here and then move the gameplay down. That was a little bit off to me. That is like so far away from the rest of the information. I mean, the information at the top is the most relevant information, I guess, but then we just saw a research there from Philip, and it looks like Philip actually drew nothing. Not completely nothing, but very little. Double boss collapsed, DTE, and there's just the whatever that, I don't even know what the name of that attack is, to be honest. You look at 4 and you take 2. I know that's what you do. Looks like a pretty easy take though. Gonna grab Arceus plus Tina, get rid of Arceus plus Quick Ball, and 2 to the Lost Zone for Philip, even though it's pretty much irrelevant unless Philip used the do you think Philip should just concede here? No, you want to make sure that Stefan has the Arceus attacks. I wouldn't just concede here, because you don't know how long it's going to take Stefan to actually get off the attack with Arceus. I would say, I think Philip probably, I'd have to look back at Philip's hand. I think Philip maybe should have attached active though, because if Stefan gets the KO on your active here, then you basically probably concede anyways. So I think as Philip here, I would have attached active, so that way I have the option of going boss knockout next turn. And getting kind of ahead in the swing of things. So I think Philip should have attached active here, because if Stefan knocks out your active here, you probably just lose. But I would play out this turn to force Stefan to have the KO. Like if Stefan doesn't have the KO here, you could theoretically use Trinity Charge next turn and then still be in a fine spot, or have attacked with Giratina. But Philip did not attach to the active, so the attack with Giratina is way less likely now. Probably plays Raihan. Yeah, but you have to have the Raihan in the hand. I don't see a Raihan in the hand there, so I don't think there's a Raihan in the hand for Philip here. All right, Colors from Stefan. Got rid of the Sableye, which I don't love because like I've been hyping up the Sableye. I assume Stefan only plays one Sableye. Now, if Philip benches Bidoof or any other one prize Pokemon, it's not as big of a deal, to be honest. So now it's a little bit safer for Philip to bench stuff. But it looks like Stefan's going to have a slow turn. It's just going to be set up another Tina and hit for 110. So Philip could have had the boss play, I think, out of his hand, but now doesn't have that option. Yeah, Philip would have had the boss play and KO'd one of those Giratinas, which I think would have put him in a pretty good spot. Can look for the Trinity charge here now, of course. It has a double turbo in hand, so it's just kind of short on the switch card. You can attach the double turbo to the bench Arceus and then just hope to hit a switch off the Marnie, which I don't think you really have a better play here as Philip. You're still overall behind, but it's better than nothing. And yeah, Marnie. Shuffle to the bottom. Was maybe debating putting Collapse Stadium in play and then playing the Crobat or something for some extra card draw, but Path to the Peak is so good against Giratina, you don't really want to place it for Stefan. Especially after you saw Stefan discard the Temple of Sinnoh. There. Now with the Temple of Sinnoh gone. Also, Temple of Sinnoh is like a really good card in this matchup as well. So those other three cards off of the Colress must have been pretty important for Stefan to take those over the Sableye and the Temple. Like I was saying, like both those have... Like the Sableye specifically, I really liked keeping. I like the idea of keeping. Switch card from Philip. A little bit lucky, probably. And other Giratina V-Star. Probably only plays the 2-2 Giratina V-Star. Has an Ordinary Rod in the prize cards we see for Philip, so... Probably only has the 2-2 Giratina. I haven't seen anyone... I don't think I've ever seen anyone run more than a 2-2 Giratina in here, so... And there's a Trinity charge. So I'm going to get a lot of energy in play here for Philip. Stefan, once again, still like ahead on the prize exchange. And can even look to like KO. The Giratina that has a bunch of damage on it, that has 110 damage on it, can look to KO that Giratina without even using their own Giratina as well at some point. So, but yeah, Stefan here ideally wants to KO one of the Giratinas off the bench. Because if you KO both the Giratinas, the game is basically over. And there's no real great attacker for Philip anymore to like line up into a Giratina. So... If Stefan can just get like Escape Rope here, that probably would set up the game ending as long as like Stefan can set up like 2 Giratinas. If Stefan can set up 2 Giratinas and like Escape Rope, get a KO on a Giratina off the bench here, that'll probably be game, but we'll see. Stefan did not do a whole ton last turn. Another thing that play, there's a net, Comfy. Ideally, Stefan wants to find, yeah, Escape Rope Knockout would be the ideal. Boss KO wouldn't be terrible either, but all right, so this will be 7 in the loss zone here. So this will lead to the, this is enough for the gates to take over now. It's a switch and something. I don't know what the other card is. It looks like the card that Stefan's gonna loss zone is a switch though. All right, there's the gate. No V stars yet though for the Tinas either. So it could actually have like a shred KO on. If Stefan plays Zigzagoon, then Stefan could just shred the Giratina with 110 on it. Stefan could just shred that Giratina. You probably make a reasonable assumption that Philip does not play Big Charm, and even if they do, Stefan might play a Vacuum still, so you go like Vacuum plus Zigzagoon. So like a shred play here wouldn't be terrible. Another gate. Okay, so both Giratinas are gonna get set up here. Or we could even see one of the energies go to the Comfy, to be honest, to set up a pivot. Yep, to the bench Comfy. So it has a scoop up net in hand probably then, or a switch, I guess. Doesn't really matter, one of the two. So now that Comfy can retreat. It still needs you don't really need boss here as Stefan, to be honest. You probably like it though. 1, 2. Yeah, you would like boss here as Stefan. All right, has the escape rope, and that's really all Stefan needs. Well, needs the V-Star still, I guess. Doesn't have the V-Star yet. So still needs the V-Star. And there's the V. I think the other one was, I think that was the V star hit there for Stefan. So a little bit lucky on the hit. Yo, appreciate the gifted sub there. JCar over to Shiny Rowlet. All right, gets the KO and then probably just removes the capture, and there's a psychic in the lost zone. Yeah, so probably a grass. Capture and grass, fight the dust off the active. Actually, no? Okay, yeah. Seems correct. And that should be like 10 in the lost zone now, which means Star Requiem is online here for Stefan. I think almost every other prize card probably would have been better for Stefan besides that Ultra Ball. I don't know if the Ultra Ball is going to do very much here for Stefan. The Colress would definitely have been better, probably. The energy may be better as well. So Philip will get the response knockout here, most likely. Yeah, there's the energy. And the cool thing about the one thing that's really cool about Arceus is that you can, and it is literally just the attack from Philip, is that you can get rid of the double turbo as the attack cost for the lost impact. That's like the coolest thing about Giratina. When I like made that connection about the deck, I was like, oh shoot, this deck's actually kind of cool. Yo, appreciate the 13 months there, Brendan. So Stefan almost sent up the Tina there. That makes me think Stefan just has the KO in hand. Did get the Ultra Ball off the prize cards, of course. I think Stefan just has KO in hand here. But does want the extra draw. Yeah, Ultra Ball away 2 VIPs. That's the V star. And I assume has an energy in hand because Stefan almost sent up the Tina, but then decided I'd rather use Comfy first. So that makes you think Stefan literally has everything in hand that they need. It makes you think that they have energy and a way to move the Comfy. We'll see though. Ultra Ball was definitely clean. Philip take Roxanne. There's a Path to the Peak in play, so you can't use Starbirth. I don't think Philip probably doesn't play Roxanne either. Oh wait, yeah, that's true. Stefan can just use Requiem here. Yeah, you just use Requiem. That's right. We are at 10. Yeah, so as long as Stefan has, although Stefan does have the V star because we saw the Ultra Ball for it. As long as Stefan can move the Comfy, but he's thinking about benching Cram. I guess you'd bench the Cram anyways, as long as you can Requiem. Stefan better have a way to move that Comfy. Uh-oh. Because Stefan had to play the whole time, right? Because Stefan had 10. Did Stefan not? Oh, I don't think Stefan had has a way to move the active. That's a pretty big blunder there from Stefan. Because Stefan could have just sent up Giratina and then Ultra Ball. Maybe Stefan thought they didn't have 10 in the lost zone. Like they forgot about their own energy hitting the lost zone to equal 11. Oh no! The escape rope! This is so bad. Yeah, it's definitely a big blunder from Stefan. Could have just Ultra Balled for Giratina and then you use Star Requiem. The game is basically over at that point. Especially if Stefan checked their prize cards. And this is why it's so important to check prize cards, right? The only argument you could have for Stefan there would be, okay, I don't know what my prize cards are. So if I Star Requiem here and I KO the Giratina, but even then the Arceus on Philip's side has no, what's it called? Anyways, so definitely a mistake there from Stefan. But if Stefan checks their prize cards, they know they have energy Colress left. So if they Star Requiem, they guarantee an energy, which means they always have the energy to use Lost Impact. And they'll just be, okay, does a Marnie or a Roxanne screw me? But that can screw you no matter what. So there's but I don't think Philip has the punish here. The full punish here would be if Philip went boss KO on the Giratina. It does have a Marnie, so we'll be able to find some new cards, but might not even be able to get a KO here. I don't even know if Philip would want to KO. You probably don't want to send your Tina in the active here as Philip. You're probably playing Marnie. I actually think, should Philip have just attached the basic Psychic to the active there? I don't know. Philip maybe should just attach the basic Psychic to the active there, because what else are you going to attach to this turn? You're going to leave the Arceus in the active here, right? Did get the Quick Ball, which can... Oh no, the Punkaboo's in the discard pile, and the Ordinary Rod still prize, actually. So Philip can't bump the Path to the Peak here. The Path to the Peak is stuck. And we did see Stefan discarded there, Sinnoh. And Tina usually plays like one Stadium, maybe one Vacuum. I assume people are playing Vacuum in Tina now that Gudra won Salt Lake City, just because of the possibility of more Gudra hype. I would assume people are rocking the Vacuum to remove a Parasol in that matchup, but I guess people could not be. Yeah, so I think Philip should have attached to Psychic Energy, because I don't think you're ever like not wanting an energy on your active Arceus there to kind of pressure the fact that Arceus could attack on the following turn. because Stefan's Cramorant can't KO your Arceus, so you're just, and if Stefan uses the Tina to KO your Arceus, like, oh, okay, now my Tina KOs your Tina, I'm fine with that trade-off. So I think that was a mistake there from Philip as well. I don't know, because if you hit double turbo there as Philip, you're not retreating and attacking the Cramorant with your own Tina there. So I don't like that play from Philip of not just attaching the Psychic Energy. All right, we see the Rod coming down from Stefan, and here is where Stefan now wants boss's orders. So blunder from Stefan on the last turn for sure. Could have just Star Requiem the Tina there. I think Stefan forgot that they had 10 in the Lost Zone because of the energy that went from the Tina to the Lost Zone. Or maybe thought they had a switch card in hand, so they thought for sure they could move the Comfey as well. But was not fully punished. Philip did not have boss KO or switch plus boss KO on, or DTE plus boss KO on the Arceus, so, or on the Tina. So Stefan didn't get punished, and now we see the net and the boss. Okay, and yeah, Philip's gonna pick it up. And we're going to go to game 2. It almost felt like Philip thought that... That was weird. It almost felt like Philip thought that Stefan actually won the game there. Stefan didn't actually... Well, Stefan would have won the game probably. But Stefan didn't actually win on a win condition there. It felt like Philip thought that instead of conceded. But maybe Philip did concede. So 1 mulligan here from Stefan. 2 double turbos prized for Philip. Which actually isn't terrible. Because you have Starbirth to find the first one. And then from there, as you draw prize cards, you'll draw into double turbos, which is like pretty good. Looks like Sableye start here from Stefan. Sableye or Cram is the choice, so not a great set of options. And Arceus start from Philip with the double turbo in hand, so great start from Philip. You don't really need much. Ugh, that's a gross hit. That hand from Philip sucks. Goes with the Psychic over the double turbo, which is interesting. Maybe, I mean, if you just make the guess, I mean, you know Stefan wants to play Colress turn 1. It looks like a pretty mediocre Colress there from Stefan. I didn't think I saw any Battle VIP pass. Oh, double Comfey and a Battle VIP pass prize for Stefan as well. So not a ton of great outs off of this Colress, to be honest. But from Philip, if you're just making the call that Stefan doesn't play Marnie, then attaching the Psychic Energy is okay. But I can't think of a way that Philip gets punished if Philip attaches the double turbo over the basic Psychic, besides getting punished by getting Marnied. Because now if Stefan Marnied Philip, and Philip didn't attach the double turbo, and let's say Philip draws into a hand where they can only use Trinity Charge, now they might have to attach again to the active, and then Trinity Charge with an extra energy on the active than they would have liked. So I'm curious why to not just attach double turbo there from Philip. It doesn't seem like it really makes a difference to have not just attached to double turbo from Philip. It's a Comfey, but it did cost a quick ball. Got rid of the Sableye. And Sableye's like lesser. Like, I think Sableye was important to try and keep around. Yo, what's up, Danny? I think Sableye was important to try and keep around in the last game from Stefan, but less relevant with this start so far. And Stefan can always Ordinary Rod it back into the deck, so. Comfey use, Tina, and... Is it double Tina pieces? Ugh. Well, got rid of a Tina V. I think that might have been... Yeah, it was double Tinas. Was it 2 Tina Vs? That's not good. I think we're close to 4, though, in the Lost Zone for Stefan. Not quite. Might even just attack with Giratina's first attack, which is actually a really underrated attack in Giratina, the first attack. Like, when you're in a bad spot or you know your opponent can't really KO your Tina, attacking with your Tina isn't terrible. But just a pass over to Philip. Like I said, Philip's hand, pretty mid. Extremely mid, actually. It's not good. Can go with Trinity Charge. Or it could just knock. Once again, holding on to the double turbo. There was so many boss in the hand, though, as well. I don't hate this play from Philip. I would probably attach the choice belts. Yeah. I'd put both of those in play. I wouldn't hate to see knockout on the Comfey here, though. Because Stefan has done so little. I guess you're just kind of scared of the Mirage Gate KO, and this kind of plays more safely around it. But I don't even know if that's true, because Stefan's like only an escape rope away. Stefan's only an escape rope away from KOing your bench Giratina anyways. So, like, if Stefan gets off the Mirage Gate, are you just kind of screwed anyways? So at that point, as Philip, you might as well just take the knockout of the Comfy, because that makes it so much harder for Stefan to get to 7 on the next turn if there's not a Comfy in the active to start the turn. I don't know if I love this play from Philip, to be honest, because like if you're playing around Mirage get KO and your only thing that's set up, Stefan is still only an escapable way to KO your only relevant thing that's set up overall. And also, once again, if Philip had attached the double turbo to the Arceus, then you could have had a 4th energy on the bench Tina here, which means you're still like 1 energy attachment ahead. I guess it's kind of about the same thing. Now you save the double turbo for the next turn, which is really good to combo with your Tina, of course. And Philip does have a good hand for the way this situation is playing out, because Philip can, because Philip will be able to go boss KO Giratina next turn with Giratina for Philip's current hand, which is a really good situation for Philip, but yeah, definitely a good situation still. But I don't hate the knocking out the Comfy there from Philip, to be honest, and just be aggressive. And then next turn, you know, get a prize card, get another top deck, and then you look for the Trinity Nova on the following turn, and ideally KO like another 1 prizer. But so for Stefan, you're looking for knockout. I think you're just looking for Tina knockout into set up another Tina and just trying to. I mean, at that point, to be honest, if Stefan knocks out this Arceus, and then, well, no, Philip could still like attach to another Arceus on the next turn. I don't know if Philip plays Raihan, but if they do, they could chain Tina into Tina from here, and then Stefan would need a 3rd. Was that 2 more Tina pieces? Bro, what the heck? I think Stefan literally Comfied into 2 Tina Vs into 2 Tina V stars. I think Stefan literally went double Tina V into double Tina V star. That's unlucky. Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna see. I don't think we're gonna see an attack here from Stefan. How much time do they have? If they have 22 minutes, I would consider, maybe not. I guess you like give Philip 1 more turn. Yeah, I wouldn't scoop here yet as the Stefan, but it's getting close, I feel like. Quick ball away at Comfy. That doesn't seem good when you prize 2 Comfy. I don't know what Stefan is looking for here. Maybe wanting to get the other Giratina out, which I think is reasonable. Getting rid of the Comfy is sketchy, though. Once again, this comes back to making sure you check your prize cards. I think if Stefan... I'm going to assume Stefan didn't thoroughly check the prize cards there and didn't know there was 2 prized. Also, might just not have a hand where there's anything else worth discarding. Usually, you're comfortable discarding Comfy, but not when you prize 2 or have a ton discarded already. Yeah, there's a lot of options in that hand, so I kind of feel like Stefan maybe didn't thoroughly check on the initial search. Ooh, rarely see the Lost Zone Colress, but I think there is another Colress in Stefan's hand. I was used 2 Colress, I believe, so the last Colress is in the hand right now. It'll be a little bit awkward to potentially find Colress, though, if Philip hits him with a Marnie next turn. There is the gate. So Stefan might actually be able to pull off the attack this turn, in which case the Comfy discard is way less relevant if Stefan can get off the attack this turn. Appreciate the 2 months there, Paul. Thoughts on Lugia with Gengar and Duraludon using Single Strike energy? I have no clue. I mean, Lugia is cool for sure. I don't know what the boot's going to be best with it, though. Appreciate the 5 months resub there. Ultra Keon. We got the gate from Stefan. Appreciate the 3 month resub there, Sochi. We got the gate, and we know there is a V-Star in Stefan's hand, because Stefan saw double V-Stars off the Comfy, which, to be honest, isn't terrible as long as you find the rod for your first Giratina when it goes down. But you have to be able to find your next Giratina. You have to be able to search the Giratina out after that. All right, so the Tina's online. Has the energy for turn. Has the air balloon, so has the attack. Everything else in the hand actually looks pretty good, so it's probably correct for Stefan to, yeah. I mean, Stefan has the attack, so it's probably correct to quick ball away the Comfy there. If you have the attack here, it's always fine, especially if you're protecting your Comfy, because you're likely to get a Comfy off the prize cards. Has a grass in hand. It's hard for me to tell what I think on the Lost Zone choices because I can't see everything. I don't know everything that's in the discard pile as far as energy goes. All right, Tina's there for Philip and has the double turbo energy, so we'll be able to knock out this active Tina here from Stefan and still be able to attack next turn. I'm sure we'll see Philip discard. Well, that's actually an interesting choice here from Philip, right? Because you could You could Lost Zone the double turbo, but if you do that, you're hoping if Stefan attacks here, the game's basically over. And there is 7 in the Lost Zone from Stefan with a Colress in hand, I believe. I could be wrong on that Colress in hand, to be honest. I could be wrong on that. I assume not, because we see Stefan starting with the Comfy. Has a Grass and a Psychic in the hand now. So is a Gate... Stefan's like a gate away from being able to attack, I think. I might not have the V-Star in hand. I think they do have another V-Star in hand, though. I could be wrong on that. Another Comfy. You appreciate the 24 months there, Auburn. Taking their time. Gets rid of a Psychic Energy. That's a lot of energy in the Lost Zone now. I wonder what the grab was. We do know Stefan has a Roxanne in hand, but Roxanne's like not great here. Plays the Escape Rope. Looks like no Tina attack here for Stefan, so just cram for 110. So it looks like the energy choice there from Philip is going to pay off here. And Philip does have Retreat plus Boss in hand. So Philip can knock out the benched Giratina here from Stefan. That's pretty much all Philip has, though, to be honest. Philip has, like, nothing else. But I think you just do it, right? There's no reason not to do it. And this actually will put Philip in Roxanne range. So Stefan will be able to play the Roxanne next turn. Won't be able to actually knock out the Giratina. But because of the board state that Philip will be in, Philip won't be able to get a knockout either. The other play Philip could do would be to use Trinity Charge here. And then you're just hoping Stefan doesn't have Escape Rope or Boss plus KO. To be honest, isn't that not that unlikely? But I think this is probably the better play overall. Is Stefan scoop? I don't know if I like that scoop from Stefan. I think Stefan still could have won that. Yo, appreciate the 613 sub there, Snarky. Yeah, did Stefan just scoop there? Is that what just happened? That felt so weird. I don't... Because Stefan had Roxanne. So if Stefan can find Roxanne, Ordinary Rod, get back a Tina, bench a Tina, cram, hit the Tina, Philip can't attack next turn. And then once Stefan KOs that, Stefan just wins the game. Unless Stefan was really drained of resources at that point. But I don't think I had seen an Ordinary Rod hit the discard pile yet. So I think Stefan still had an out there for sure off the Roxanne. Like a pretty reasonable one as well, to be honest. Especially because, like, the Roxanne could brick Philip so bad that Philip whiffs attachment for turn, which means the Cramorant can literally solo the rest of the game for Stefan, potentially. Not super likely, but there's the potential for it, too. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that concede there from Stefan. I think that was like that. Stefan was still in a fine position. Obviously, going to probably be in a better position now going into game 3, but you're not a huge fan of that choice from Stefan. I think had still quite a bit of play left in that situation. Isn't there a Rod in the Lost Zone? There might have been, but there was also I'm pretty sure Stefan plays 2 Rod. Net the Comfy. Net the Greninja. Is there another energy in the hand to use with Greninja? That'd be great. All right. Probably should have... I don't know. I guess you do want to play it that way, right? Ooh, and then drew into Battle VIP past Escape Rope. So super good start here from Stefan so far. As long as they can find some way to recover some of those energy eventually. Comfy first. Ugh. It's fine, though. It's actually not that big of a deal. Interesting to Comfy first there. I don't know what Pokemon Stefan was hoping to hit off Comfy there. I feel like you'd rather use... Maybe you want another Giratina, to be honest. You want to be able to chain Giratina, so you'd like to get a second Giratina, which makes sense, actually. So now you can get Comfy plus Giratina, and then if you had gotten a Comfy or a Tina off the Comfy, then you could have had 2 of each, which you'd actually prefer. So no, it makes sense. Comfy first makes sense there. Especially if you're content with like the way the rest of your hand looks. One thing that might be a little bit unfortunate is the Luminion is prized. So if like Stefan's hand is kind of living off a quick ball for a Colress next turn, that's not going to be great. Goes for Tina Comfy. Has an escape rope in hand. I don't know if Stefan wants to play that. You kind of do want to play it before Philip gets a chance to bench a non-V Pokemon, though. Because then if you escape rope next turn, Philip's going to send up a Hawlucha or a Bidoof for your Tina to attack into. So actually, I think I want to see Stefan play the escape rope this turn before you give Philip a chance to establish some little schmuck that you don't want to knock out next turn as Stefan. So I would like to see the escape rope be used here. I don't like the energy retreat. I would have rather seen that on the Tina and then play the escape rope. Another energy. It's a Colress, but you have to go with the Colress, so if you have no Colress in hand here, I think for sure. Ram down. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen the energy on the Tina and then escape rope into the Comfy. Because now if Stefan escape ropes next turn, Philip, like I said, could bench and Philip should go out of their way to bench a one prize Pokemon to play around escape rope. And really good start from Philip. Tina plus Arceus with double turbo. Has 2 quick balls in hand, I believe. So one of those should become Bidoof. And the other one should become another Giratina, I would assume. There's a boss in hand. You don't really want to get rid of the boss. So maybe you just play one of the quick balls because it's a double turbo and a boss. And finding boss is so important. But yeah, you really want to get a one prize Pokemon here as Philip to play around escape rope. And then you kind of like take away some of the switching options from Stefan. Yep, there's the Bidoof lineup. Could have gone with the Hawlucha to try and like not get rid of a good Pokemon, but you don't really want to put 2 one prize Pokemon in play in this matchup anyway. So you probably just go with the Bidoof and it becomes a B-Barrel. That's cool. But if Stefan plays escape rope, then that's kind of your sacrificial schmuck for the escape rope. So I think a pretty big mistake there from Stefan with the ordering of the cards. Should have got the energy in play on the Giratina and then played the escape rope to play around the single prize or send up. Not to say that like Stefan still couldn't play around the single prizer being on the bench, but now you need so many more switch cards to have to do that. Stefan is going to get Marnied here anyway, so it won't have as big of an impact, but now there's one less energy in play for Stefan, which could make a big deal in the end, towards the end of the game. I mean, he could have been worried about time in game 2, but I still think there was like a reasonable win. Like whenever you have a reasonable win condition, like where you still win a decent amount of the time, I don't think you should concede. Like if the Roxanne had gone really bad for Stefan, then I would concede after that. But if it didn't go that bad, then I wouldn't have conceded quite yet. Quick ball in the hand for Philip, but the hand looks really good for Philip. It has Boss, Evolution Incense, Tina, Quick Ball. I don't think there's a reason to play the Quick Ball here as Philip. Goes with the Evolution Incense, which I also think makes 0 sense. Because what are you gonna... what do you can't evolve that, can you? I guess it increases your odds of top decking something else, but like maybe you want to... If you top deck Arceus, then you could Evolution Incense for B-Barrel, but now you just don't have an out for B-Barrel. I think this is a mistake here from Philip. I don't know why Philip's playing this. It does increase your odds of your top deck not being Arceus, and you do want Arceus next turn, but you also want B-Barrel if B-Barrel doesn't get KO'd. I don't know why Philip is preemptively... Also, if Stefan does play a Marnie, now you have an Arceus on the bottom of the deck instead of in the deck, and you'd rather have it in the deck than on the bottom of the deck. I think that's just like Philip playing too fast for no reason. Like thinking that's the correct play, but then like... kind of underthinking it. You can also make the assumption Stefan doesn't play the Marnie. I feel like almost no one's playing the Marnie in the Tina anymore. They started at 1 Marnie, or started at like 2 Marnie, now it's down to 1 Marnie, or now it's down to 0 Marnie. Yeah, definitely no reason to attach to the active Arceus. If it gets knocked out by a Tina, you want as many energy in play as possible for your follow-up Tinas. Now Stefan has to work pretty hard this turn to get a 2 prize knockout, to be honest. Probably has to settle for Cramorant being the attacker on this turn. And in that case, to be honest, Stefan probably wants to find Escape Rope. And Escape Rope up that Bidoof and knock that out. You don't really want to leave that Bidoof in play to become a B-Barrel, to be able to play around your Roxanne in the late game. And has the Escape Rope, to be honest. So I think you just play the Escape Rope here as Stefan, and force up the Bidoof, get that knockout with your Cram. And I think that puts you in like an okay spot. It does kind of help Philip a little bit, where now Philip doesn't have to find a switch card anymore to get their Tina in the active, but it's probably worth it for the trade-off anyways, or fine with the trade-off. Fine for what the trade-off becomes. Yeah, there's the rope. Bidoof send up here from Philip. It's not worth the risk. And if Stefan has a switch card or some way to move the Comfy, and send up the other Comfy, use the Comfy. VIP pass, pretty easy. Get rid of. And now I assume hoping to get into the Cramorant. Now you just settle for the Cram attack here this turn. Or you could also pass and leave the Bidoof in the active, but I don't like the idea of B-Barrel sticking around. Yeah, it goes with the Cram. I don't like the idea of the B-Barrel sticking around after you finally Roxanne here as Stefan. And now it makes it awkward for Philip to want to bench another Bidoof in play, because that would just lead to Penchy Sableye getting the knockout on the closing Bidoof or whatever. But yeah, Philip has an insane hand here. Even has Pats at the peak as well, I believe. So Philip can go like... Geez, I don't even know. What do you do here? You have so many good plays. You have... Ooh, he's going to get rid of the Marnie off the quick ball. So that... I didn't have the quick ball. So now I can go like get Tina. Then you can Arceus for... Roxanne's in the Lost Zone anyway. Oh, that's true. Stefan could be playing the double Roxanne, but it's probably unlikely. Oh, goes for the Crobat here, actually. I don't hate that. Just draw a bunch of cards before. You can actually draw... Well, you can't play the Path to the Peak. So you can draw 5 cards and then Starbirth afterwards and then put the Path in play. So boss up the Tina with the water. Use Crobat. Oh, is it... I thought that was a boss in hand. Maybe I'm tripping. I thought Philip had a boss. No, that was a boss. So I think Philip just misplayed there and just should have bossed. Yeah, the last 2 cards in the hand were Path Boss. So Philip could have gone boss and drawn an extra card off Crobat there, because you're always bossing here. You're never using Tina to knock out a Cramorant. Oh, does play a Big Charm as well. So actually, Philip can put the Big Charm on the active Tina here. Big Charm to the active Tina here. Start to set up the next Tina. And then, yeah, Stefan's probably not going to be able to get to 10 in the Lost Zone on the next turn. So might not be able to KO this active Tina, which is actually a huge swing. Yeah, boss up Tina, Pat to the Peak. Pat to the Peak. And then, yeah, boss Impact, get rid of the double turbo. Goodbye, Tina. All right, Stefan's going to go for it. Needs to get a KO this turn, I feel like, or it's going to get really tough because the second Tina from Philip will be waiting in the wings in a pretty good spot. This is actually, the more I like watch this matchup play out, though, to be honest, it feels really bad. It feels bad for Philip. I feel like this is a bad matchup for Philip because it's so much harder if you don't get like 2 attacks off with your Arceus as Philip. Like, you just start to fall behind in terms of energy and play to be able to continuously set up attacks. I could be wrong on that. I've never actually played this matchup that much, but just watching this game, even though I would say Philip is probably in the advantageous position because we still haven't seen another energy attachment. Oh my gosh, this is so bad from Stefan. And then another attack with the Cram. This one might just be necessary, though, because you do have to get through the Big Charm at some point as Stefan. And this might just be the best way for Stefan to do that, to be honest. Just like punch like this. There is a boss in the hand here, though, from Philip. And another energy to the benched Tina. But like even now, like let's say Philip gets this boss KO on a Tina. Then even if Stefan KOs this Tina, Philip is still not set up in a spot to 100% respond. And now which 2 energy do you get rid of here as Philip? Gonna go with 2 off the active. This means if Stefan does get the return KO, then Philip doesn't have, or then Philip could have a response with another V-Star plus an energy. If Stefan gets the boss KO on the bench one, which probably isn't likely for how Stefan's been drawing. I don't even know if Stefan's played a Colress yet. I don't think Stefan's played a Colress yet. So not looking good for Stefan. It is possible Philip whiffs, though, if Stefan KOs the active. But I guess that's also unlikely. Comfy here. Seems like it's not a great choice. Energy gone. Another Comfy net. Can do another Comfy. No Mirage Gates happening yet either. We're at 8 in the Lost Zone now. It makes you think Stefan doesn't have a Lost Gate in hand. What does Stefan even have in hand? No Lost Gate, no Colress. But if Philip doesn't have like boss KO this turn, it's still not over yet, to be honest. And that's what's something so awkward about this situation for Philip, is that like if Philip can't attack with Arceus into stuff like Comfey or Cramorant, you're lost owning 2 energy off of Giratina to be able to attack, which is like pretty mid. Like that's such a bad trade. Like you're getting 1 prize card to lost own 2 energy. Like it's such a yeah, it's just like a bad trade here for Philip. Like it's not a good trade-off. See what Philip draws. I see a Psychic Energy in the hand for Philip. And a double turbo. We could see the double turbo to the Arceus. We also see just the double turbo to the active as well. And then both Tinas can attack just in case Stefan pulls off something next turn. Was it Psychic, Ultra Ball, Quick Ball? Definitely probably wants to thin out some of the stuff with the Ultra Balls and the Quick Balls, but... Appreciate the tier 1 sub there, Maddie Nate. Welcome to the Rat Pack. Fresh out of lemonade, but we got plenty of oranges. Sinnoh gone. For Stefan. The Sinnoh's pretty good here, though. I wonder what the other card was that Stefan got rid of. All right, quickly get rid of the... Sinnoh's like really good. Well... Yeah, the Crobat's gone. The Starbirth's been used. It'll give you access to your Greninja. And the bigger thing is it shuts down double turbo energy. So that means like Philip doesn't have as efficient of attacks from here on out. So Stefan is looking for like boss KO on Giratina on the bench, I would assume. Can't see Stefan's hand though, so I don't know what kind of options. I don't think Stefan has. I think Stefan still has yet to use a Colress, right? Am I wrong on that? I think I finally see a Mirage Gate in hand. Attach another energy in the bin. That is a lot of energy in the lost zone and the discard pile for Stefan. I don't even know if Stefan has enough energy left to attack. Like, if it didn't cost an energy there to attack with Cram, it'd feel a lot better, because then you could have at least manually charged up your Giratina. There might be no energy left in the deck here for Stefan, and maybe that's why Stefan hasn't played the Lost Gates yet. Ball here from Philip. Getting another Arceus. Like I said, Philip probably should have played some more cards out of the hand last turn. I guess Philip maybe knew that they couldn't be hand disrupted, but even then you increase the chance of your top deck being a little bit better. So Philip should have played some of, like, Philip had like the Choice Belt, the Quick Ball, the Ultra Ball. Like all those cards could have been played last turn from Philip, and instead chose not to. So definitely a mistake there from Philip. Loading up the bench, Tina. That's actually an interesting attachment there from Philip, because now Stefan does get the boss KO, which I don't even know if it's possible, because Stefan is through so many resources at this point and has done absolutely nothing. It has nothing built up on the bench either. All right, Sableye attack, or Sableye bench, Cram knockout. Maybe time was called there. Both players kind of stopped. Okay, yeah. So Stefan is 0. Turn 1 for Philip. Has the Arceus attack and will go down to 1 prize card. Once again, has an Ultra Ball in hand, but probably should just play it and discard some cards and get another card out of the deck. I don't know why Philip's not playing the Ultra Ball. Finally, should have played it last turn, though. Should have done this last turn. There's no reason to have not done this last turn to increase the odds of your top deck being better. Oh, the last Bidoof. I was going to say maybe could have even got Bidoof to get B-Barrel this turn. The Arceus could bench it and load up some energy on it, but you can also just load up the energy on the Crobat at this point. There's the Nova and can thin out at least 1 energy, and it should probably go to the Crobat here just to make sure the Crobat can retreat. That's also like another reason to not bench anything else unless you can put enough energy on it to make it retreat. But not agree with the scoop now that you hit time in game 3. I mean, that's just not how it works, though, Dragonite. That's not how it works. That's being It's just confirmation bias. You're like, oh, but look, they went to game 3 in the end. But yeah, what if Stefan had won game 2, then game 3 would never happen. See? So like, I still think there was a reasonable win condition there for Stefan. I didn't know everything that was left in Stefan's deck, but I think there was a reasonable win condition there. Yo, appreciate the 1,000 bits there, Swizzerton. Appreciate the gifted sub there. Jackal Bison over to Bob the Goldfish. Bob, welcome to the pack. We're all out of drawers. We got plenty of milk. Yeah, I don't think Stefan can win at this point. Well, this is Stefan's last turn, so Stefan can't win at this point. It would just come down to, can Stefan not lose? But Philip has 1 prize card left. So for Stefan to win, or for Stefan to tie this game, Stefan needs to KO the Giratina and then hope Philip doesn't have a boss. And then there's a possibility. I think now that I've seen this matchup play out, though, I'm pretty sure this is just like a... This is a favorable matchup for Tina. I think Lost Zone Tina, because you can just be so much more aggressive, and you're just, if your Arceus goes down early and you only get like 1 Trinity off, like, you're just kind of screwed, I feel like. I definitely think this is favorable for, this is a favorable matchup for Stefan, even though it looks like Stefan is gonna lose this one overall. We'll see if Stefan even has an answer here. Stefan needs boss, has to boss KO Giratina, or play Escape Rope and hope Philip sends out the wrong Pokemon. And then you have to hope Philip doesn't have boss or Escape Rope themselves. And Philip does play an Escape Rope. I don't know if we already saw the Escape Rope this game or not. I forget, but... I wonder if Philip can ever get enough stuff in the Lost Zone where Philip can actually use Star Requiem. I doubt it. There's a Switch and Ordinary Rod, but that's not boss. I mean, the Switch seems like the correct take here. I don't know what Stefan is agonizing over with this being their last turn. I think Stefan's realizing, like, was trying to come up with something. Okay. Another Comfy. I see an Escape Rope. I don't see the boss once again. Yep, there it is. And yeah, there was another Roxanne in Stefan's list.